You know, the criminal lack of restraint by the resident electoral commissioner, the REC, in Adamawa State supplementary election, Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, will be further inquired into. President Muhammadu Buhari has given the nod for the immediate suspension from office of the REC, pending the completion of investigation by the Inspector General of Police on the conduct and actions, and if you like, inactions of the lawyer during the supplementary polls. In addition, all those involved in the declaration of the APC governorship candidate, Senator Aisha Binani, are to be adequately punished. Jide, for once, let's go there.
Yes, you know, the REC who tried to engineer a shipwreck on the day, shipwreck, boasted that he was appointed by the president. So he seems to think that no one could question his actions. But the law did not permit him.
That's him?
Yes. The law did not permit him to do what he did. The collation was still on. Election took place in 20 local governments. They had collated results from, someone was trying to relieve him of a document that he had in his pocket.
Yeah.
Now, so collation had been done in 10 local governments. They still had 10 to go. But he was desperate to make someone the winner. And then he went, before the resumption of collation at 11 o'clock, as announced earlier at midnight of Saturday, he came in at 9 a.m. to carry out this irresponsible announcement against the laws of the land. And I'm happy that the president, because INEC said something, INEC drew attention of the appointing authorities, because they didn't appoint him. It's not INEC that appoints Rex. So INEC drew the attention of the appointing authority to the infraction that this man committed. And that's why the president responded by ordering his immediate suspension, you know. And then the president moved ahead to say, okay, the DSS operatives, police, and the civil defense officers who took part in bringing upon us this embarrassing situation should also be investigated and punished. Now, as I've said repeatedly, it takes two to tango. Politicians are interested in rigging elections, but they don't do it alone. They do it with the connivance of INEC staff. They do it with the connivance of security men, as we have seen here.
Yeah.
Because those who ought not to accompany him to go and make that
offensive announcement,
they went with him.
Yeah.
To give him that. If he didn't have the security, there's no way he will muster the courage to go and do the thing that he did. And they say he's a lawyer.
No. They no say he's a lawyer.
So, because I've seen some lawyers recommending that NTA should be sanctioned by NBC, recommending that policemen, but they are not talking about one of their own. I see lawyers on TV talking about this thing. I've not heard those lawyers saying, look, this is the time to punish this person. Because if lawyers get involved in things like this, despite knowing what the law says, there should be repercussions. There should be implications. There should be punishment for such bad behavior.
Yeah.
So within the NBA, we should be hearing that, okay, these are the steps that we are about to take. We should be hearing, we should be reading about.
There's a fly in the ointment.
Yes, because it's one of your own. And if one of your own, if a black leg from amongst your professional group has put Nigeria to shame in the way this man has done, you can't keep quiet. Your men can't be going from one TV station to the other to be saying they should punish this, they should punish that, they should punish this, they should punish that, without pointing at the person who even started this in the first place. All of those people are accomplices. But the main
actor is a
wreck. Is a wreck. And he's a lawyer. So the police, one good thing about the police is that they do not waste time to punish
offenders.
Their own people.
Okay.
When the policeman misbehaves, you see, either they will parade him.
Oddly room trial and all that. Yeah.
A lot of the professional groups are reluctant to do that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't punish wrongdoing amongst our professional peers.
Politicians.
So now,
I'm happy
it's a good thing.
Maybe now that you pointed it out.
Yes. This is the first time that I'm saying that, okay, we are treating this thing like not just one person's offense. There are others.
Accomplices.
Yes, others also joined him. Security joined him. INEC staff joined him. So let the punishment go around so that we send a clear message. Now I'm hearing that, that man, that INEC said that he's on the run. It's not for INEC to tell us he's on the run. You told him to stay away from the... told him to stay away
from all your
office.
Activities.
You have brought an admin officer or admin manager to do his job.
To take over his job.
You told him to stay away. So maybe he's staying away somewhere, you know. But they are telling us now that he is on the run. Such a person cannot be on the run. He rose to the level of PAMSEC in Bauchi.
He can't just disappear.
Bauchi has given us someone that even they cannot be proud of. So there's nowhere for him to hide. With his beard, even if he shaves off that beard, people will remember his face. Yes, no matter how tiny that beard is, if he shaves it off, people will still remember that face, so he cannot run. They should not tell us the police should arrest him and put him on trial.
Tony, sometimes you wonder if, I said, I think some time ago on the show, it appears we are paying for not punishing bad behavior.
Exactly.
You know, the impunity is getting larger because we don't punish.
Yes. No punishment. No punishment. I watched when he declared that result. And really, I was looking at the Commissioner of Police. Even when the agitation in the hall, you know, when the tension was rising and people were surging towards the wreck, the commissioner was just seated. At the point he stood and issued a warning and sat down again. And what was going through my mind was like, is that guy a commissioner of police? Which means the state police command is seated there in the hall.
Represented.
Yes, seated fully with the wreck. And you're saying this happening, you're not doing anything. Truly, I told myself that if this thing goes like this without punishment, it tells you that that's how it's going to continue. I'm happy it turned this way.
Yeah.
The Nigerians stood up and said, no, we can't continue. We can't do this like this. We can't, because if we continue this way, more will come.
Yeah.
It's not the first time. We've seen that across states. My problem is, how do we appoint these recs? What's the criteria? Because I've seen it's through referral. So I know.
I know somebody in government.
I gave
food for the boys.
I mean, it turns rec. You know what rec means? Determine the full government of a state.
Fate of millions of people.
That's what he did. And I said, he was reading without even a paper, and he said, and he moved. The impunity, the guts, the courage he had.
Somebody said he could have been on drugs.
I saw, and I was wondering, like,
because his eyes were blazing.
I've never seen this type.
His eyes were blazing. If you look at him, you know.
Did they not be only drug? They make man hide.
I know.
A lot was at play. You know, I know that, and secondly, I was sure he has somebody behind his back.
Life-changing money can make him.
Definitely. There's something behind him that gives him that power. finance, I mean, fund, I know, I've read some, but it's not, you can't.
But gentlemen, let me ask this crazy question. There's been an infraction. Do we require Mr. President to give the go-ahead?
No, the thing is the appointer of the person. That was why, look at that statement, the first statement that INEC, I think the second statement that INEC made. INEC was very swift in saying, no, we have heard of what happened in Adamawa. INEC described it as purported declaration. And INEC said, even when collation had not ended. So INEC dissociated itself from the beginning.
Yeah.
I was telling our correspondent, Ayo, I said, this cannot stand. It makes no sense. I mean, it was too ridiculous, you know. Someone was saying, this thing could become a constitutional crisis. I said, no, I'm sure it will not be a constitutional crisis, because even INEC responded swiftly. I said, look, this cannot stand. They then went further. You know, the first statement was issued by an admin person, you know. Then Festus Okoye, now, who is the person that more Nigerians know as the spokesperson of INEC, somebody who speaks for them. He then spoke and then added that bit that, look, we have notified the appointing authority about what this person has done. So the person who appoints can fire, and he can give the directive, look, I don't want to see this person again, because he was boasting that, look, I'm the president appointed me. So what? Who are you?
L'état c'est moi.
Because the president appointed you, so that gives you the license
to
behave irresponsibly. I mean, the president has given you a job. He's not going to do the job for you. He expects you to use your head. How many people does the president appoint? He appoints so many people. So, because the president appointed you, then you thought you could go against the law.
Abuse your office.
In the way you have done. So now, the appointer has given the directive. So there is no ambiguity.
Okay.
There is no doubting the fact that both INEC and the appointing authority are agreed on the fate
of
this fellow. No ambiguity, no argument. Mr. President is embarrassed by what he has done. Therefore, he has ordered his immediate suspension. The bureaucrats will then fine-tune the process and make sure that that suspension happens. Because INEC clearly is not the is not the appointer of this race. But it also clearly tells us that we should be appointing people who are above board. And the people in the National Assembly, they are not helping us. Because they claim that, they are going to confirm people. You confirm people without doing due diligence. You don't thoroughly investigate their background.
Exactly. No due diligence, nothing. No checks.
Because I've been told that this rec had done some things even in his state, Bauchi, for which you would not expect him to get this job.
Yeah.
So what is the job of the Senate? How much scrutiny do they do? Because one day we are going to bring a bare-faced armed robber and make him a wreck.
All right. We haven't gotten to that spot yet. But let's go on a break again. Please bear with us. This is how we make money. We'll be back shortly. Yeah, Tony, you know, in the course of the evening, we have talked about the hopes and aspirations of the incoming administration. One of them, the incoming president will do two major things: damage reduction and damage control. One of them is dealing with impunity in the country. We need it. We more than need it.
We need it.
Send a message.
We need to do. If we don't do it, if we continue to pretend, to punish people for their wrongdoings, we'll keep having the same result.
Oh, yes.
And the country will not make progress.
And we'll pay for it.
And we're paying dearly already for
We're
it.
paying for
People
it.
will feel, I will do it and nothing will happen. After all, this person did it. It didn't happen. And some people will be telling, do it, we're backing you. So not only him, accomplices, anybody who has a role, and he must be decisive about it. Punishment must be meted out to people who mess up with the system, because that is why Nigeria is where we are today.
Tony, you see, 1999 through to now is about 22, 23, 24 years. Unbroken democracy. Yet
which
the
means
process...
we're supposed to have made serious
by
progress.
By now, we should have
serious
gone
progress.
beyond where we are.
We make 10 steps forward and make another 20 steps backward. So it's like, making progress in a circle. Like we're not focused. So I pray, I am hoping, and I trust that the new administration will take off from this present administration and do the right thing and start punishing people for infraction that stagnates the growth of this country. Tony, this wreck, for instance, I don't want to go far from it.
But do you know we are a laughing stock? When you talk about Nigeria outside of here, people will say, people will do terrible things and get away with them.
Yes, exactly. That's because I want to, from 2000 and from Jonathan's time till now, I won't say we've made tremendous progress in terms of punishing corporates, punishing people for wrongdoings. I pray, because I believe that the incoming administration will do something different because of the person who is the president-elect.
Yeah.
Somebody who is hands-on, who is on ground, who knows, who can reason and not being told to, okay, do this, do that. He knows it, and he's going to do it himself. Punish people for wrongdoing, things that have made Nigeria not to progress.
Yeah.
This wreck, for instance, that I'm hearing, his whereabouts is unknown. What is the meaning of that?
Where did that start from?
Who is saying that?
Where did that
It's
start
not
from?
in the place of INEC to say, we don't know. That's for police. When you don't know his whereabouts, let the police know. And they'll get him. What do you mean? Coming to say, so you're giving up? We should not allow that issue to go just like that. It should be punished. The NSM was the civil defense that was seated there, head of the civil defense in Adamawa, was seated there with the commissioner of police. They wouldn't go scot-free. They shouldn't go scot-free if we must make progress in this country. Enough.
And the dragnet is so large, look at the electoral process in the country. There are so many things damaging it. If we hit the nail on the head enough, I think we will arrest many of these things.
INEC has got all the rules and regulations to ensure that it delivers free, fair, and credible elections. But many times, its own officers, its own staff, work with politicians to compromise the process. Remember that Guinea, as REC in Akwa Ibom, actually put he put a returning officer on trial. He put a returning officer on trial for rigging election for a political party.
Yeah.
And he saw to it that that person was convicted.
Convicted, yeah.
We need to identify bad eggs, criminals within our different setups, and purge, not just INEC, but the police, purge them of undesirable elements. If we do that on an incremental basis, we will be able to sanitize not just INEC, but all of those government agencies. Government agencies that are meant to generate revenue. A lot of the revenue that should actually go into government coffers get stolen.
Yeah.
The avenues through which the resources are leaking, they are too much. You need to punish bad behavior. People go before the National Assembly will expose them, but that's where it ends. We don't hear of any of those people jailed. No, don't punish bad behavior. Okay. We are reluctant because what determines whether your case is taken to court is the godfather that you have.
That's it.
So that godfather, when they bring your case up the first time, that godfather steps in. Even political thugs. How many of the political thugs who disrupt elections have been jailed? How many have we even put on trial? We are discussing bandits here. How many bandits have we put on trial and ensured that those bandits were jailed? We don't. And we're in a country where even when people are sentenced to death, they refuse to sign. So that person continues to feed on the mega resources of the country. So we must decide in our hearts that, look, we do not want to tolerate bad behavior anymore. Bad behavior manifests in different ways.
Enough is already too much. We
must tell ourselves that enough is enough. And the way to do it is to, once we catch somebody, we put the person to shame. Let the society see that, look, aberrant behavior is not tolerated.
That's it.
Put the person to shame. Let him end up in jail. His family would learn from it. Other people around them in the neighborhood will learn from them. Not for us to be honoring thieves, giving thieves traditional titles and all that. No, we will never get better if we continue along that line.
Tony, and rent seeking, I hear, is an industry in this country. So there's so many rent seekers around because the system will not punish them.
The system will not punish them. And I pray, as I said again, that this new administration will usher in a lot of changes.
I guess we have no choice.
We must make progress. Just as he said, from 1999 till date, that's how many years of unbroken democracy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like we're still learning. So when are we going to progress? I mean, when are we going to make, reasonable progress? People can say, okay, we keep making mistakes, and people will say, no, we're still learning. For how long are you going to learn? For how long are you going to crawl? When are you going to walk?
They say our democracy is a nascent one.
I keep hearing it's mostly politicians. That's
permanently nascent.
No, we cannot permanently nascent. We must progress. Every year, things must change. Things must change. You see that indiscipline that we don't have in this country, that has been the problem we have. And that's why we keep having cases of corruption. We will keep having, Nigeria continuously be ranked among nations who are doing well on corruption level. Because we fail to do the needful. When you're caught doing the wrong thing,
you should pay for it.
I mean, pay for it, and we should not apply.
The relevant laws are there.
We even have the laws. It's just
applying them.
Applying it.
Yeah.
It's simply applying it. You don't have the political way to do that.
All right.
So we're making progress.